Hello, my friends. This week's video is going to be another little sit down video because I am celebrating 1 year of therapy. Woo! Not only 1 year of therapy, 1 year, but in that year I did 120 sessions. So I spent 120 hours with my therapist in a year, which, if you do the math, I think it equals out to nearly like 5 days straight. So that's pretty crazy and something that I should be super proud of. So I asked my therapist for help. I started the list. She helped me or gave me some suggestions and I reworded them, but I just wanted to let you guys all know what I've learned in a year of therapy. The first thing, and probably the biggest thing, is self-compassion. Let me see if I can easily grab it. Self-love and self-compassion are two totally different things. This book is the book that we have been working out of. As you can see, a lot of it has resonated with me. You don't have to read it in order. There is a chapter on self-compassion in parenting, self-compassion in illness. I mean, self-compassion is just totally different than self-love, in my opinion. And Dr. Kristin Neff, who I always link her book down, is just really good at explaining it. So if you're not going to buy the book, even though it's only like $9, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it, I would listen to one of her TED Talks. They are very insightful, and I didn't even know what self-compassion was, and when I learned about it, I had none of it. So that's one big thing that has changed over the last year, is that I think I have some more coping tools to be more self-compassionate to myself. Something that is important in therapy is that you can connect with your therapist. I always tell people it's like dating. The therapist I have right now is my 4th or 5th therapist I've had in my life, and like 3 of those were in the last 2 years. So once you connect with your therapist, it's really nice to have an unbiased source that you can be authentically yourself with. I think I just took another one. I have a list. I think I just took another one from my list. But they are totally unbiased. They only know what you tell them. They can give you insight that you can't see because you usually are in fight or flight. They know you well enough to be able to give you like real feedback that will help you and not offend you. Oh yeah, being authentically honest. It falls more on you. Like, you get out of therapy what you put into it. In my personal case, sometimes I feel like I get more out of it than I put into it, but that's because I've gone for so many hours. If you're not going to be honest with a stranger that doesn't know you and that legally can't tell anybody anything about you unless you're a threat to yourself or others, there's no point in going if you're not going to be open and honest, because like there's a reason you're there, and the sooner that you get comfortable and just dive in, the sooner that you can start healing. My therapist said that she's noticed that I have started noticing a lot of pattern recognition in my life, which, looking back, there is a lot of it. We're still working through it. Like, I still make mistakes. I can't recognize every pattern out there, but I am aware of some patterns that I've developed in my life that I would like to break. Recognizing when you need some self-care, which is different than self-compassion. Self-care is like, self-care for me is like taking a shower, because sometimes I go days without showering. Doing my nails. I can do my own nails. Spending some time with my dogs, sitting outside for a little bit, like just small things that I can do even with a headache that show my body some love. I've learned that it's okay to feel my feelings. They are my feelings. They are valid. They are nobody else's. No two people are going through the exact same thing, so everyone's feelings are different, and it's totally okay for me to feel mine. I've also learned that thoughts are just thoughts, and this is one that we're still working on pretty hard. But thoughts are just thoughts. They're not facts. So y'all probably get what I'm trying to say. One of the patterns that I get wrapped up into is just like replaying of a thought. And now I have some coping skills and medicine that helps me not fall into that trap as often as I did a year ago. Something else I learned about myself is that I am a control freak. Basically, after having a lot of normal human, I don't want to say rights, but basically after being a functioning human being to this, I have like totally gone off the wagon because I have no control. And it leads to a lot of self-blame. It leads to a lot of me feeling like I'm a burden because I can't just do it myself. It runs my life, I guess, and I just never really realized how much control I needed of situations. But it totally makes sense with some of my patterns that I've identified. I think I really needed them to point that out to me, like that I need control of every situation, or I have a ton of questions, or I need all the answers, which with this condition is nearly impossible. I have learned that not everyone can meet you at your level, and that is totally fine. It's totally fair. In my personal situation, it is a lot. It's a lot for me to deal with, so it's a lot for people to deal with. A lot of people operate out of fear, which I totally understand. I assume a lot of people are operating out of grief for me, and not everybody's gonna be able to be a listening ear for you, which took me some time to realize, but I'm starting to recognize who I have and who I don't have, which is not like a good or bad. It's just who can emotionally meet me at my level and who can emotionally support me from their level. With that, you can't fix people when you're trying to fix yourself, which is just one of my things. I'm a helper, I'm a fixer. When I went to the crisis center, I met a ton of people and I wanted to help all of them, and I just really, really, really need to work on myself, continue to work on myself. Because it's unfair to me and it's unfair to them as well. As I've said, I have learned so much about myself that I did not know. It is helping me. So my body is failing me, but my mind is not totally. So I think that I'm learning a lot that's going to help me like go into my 30s and be able to make better choices. And I used to focus a lot on knowing how other people ran and like other people's patterns, and now I am learning about my own, so I can be a little selfish and take that knowledge with me and get better at it. On better days, I can recognize the tiny victories from a year ago. So I might be super depressed and super anxious still and in a ton of pain, but I have sticky notes all over that say remember the tiny victories, and even if I don't look directly at it, I know it's there. So those have been there for a while, and I think that I'm starting to see itty-bitty victories, which a year ago all I saw was black. So that is definitely a good improvement. And the last thing that I learned is that, and this is the most annoying overused phrase probably in the world, but it's true, which is annoying, but things take time, and you have no control over time, which is really hard for me. But things take time. It takes time to find doctors, it takes time to try medicines, it takes time with disability, it takes time with DHS, it takes time with home health aid people. Like, everything just takes time. And that is something that I need to constantly be reminding myself of. But I am very, very happy that I have the therapist that I have, and that we have the connection that we do. And I just, yeah, I don't know how to end this. If you have any questions about therapy, I'd love to answer them. I definitely think it's worth going. Luckily, I don't have to pay for mine, but I know a lot of people are in a position where they can't afford it. But I highly recommend it. It has helped save my life multiple times over the last year, and I just don't know where I would be without it. So, okay, bye.